If you're a freelancer or remote worker in an unstable economy, or maybe the industry you're working in, there are budget cuts, they're laying off employees, laying off people, or you just have this general fear of the economy and you're like, okay, what should I do? Should I just cut my rates down lower, or I should stay at the same rates? Or, what should I just do so that I don't scare off clients, or I don't lose, the clients I have right now, or the job that I have? Well, the thing I want to tell you, spoiler alert, that you can actually still raise your rates even in an unstable market or an unstable economy. You just have to do things right, and I'll be discussing that in this video. Welcome to the Creative Beam. My name is Blessing, and on this channel we talk about all things remote work, freelancing, and work-life management. Okay, so without wasting time, let's go straight into the video. First things first, I want to address the fear around pricing when the market is unstable, or there's economic crisis, or there are layoffs, or there are budget cuts in a particular company you're working at. If you allow fear to detect, how you price yourself or how you react to this kind of things, and then you just rush to cut your rates down low, or you keep your rates the same because you feel, let me just do this so that I don't come off as too pushy, and the clients are like, we don't want to work with you again, or you're too expensive, don't know what's going on out there. Well, newsflash, you also are also going to, be affected by the economy, because I bet groceries prices are not dropping, utility prices are not dropping. So if you cut your rates down low, there's a high chance that you'll be stuck in a vicious cycle whereby what's the guarantee that you cutting your price down low, a prospective client doesn't still charge you lower? So let me use Naira. Let's say you always charge 50,000 Naira, and then you're like, because of the economy, let me charge 40,000 Naira or 45,000 Naira. What's the guarantee that the prospective client won't still want you to give them a discount lower than 40,000 Naira or 45,000 Naira? So instead of you to even be earning higher, you're earning less per month, and your bills are going high. So, and that can make you resent the work you're doing and just keep you in a very bad, toxic work mindset. So what do you do instead? Well, you can raise your rate responsibly, and I'm going to talk about 3 methods. So these 3 methods I want you to apply to new prospects only. Keep your existing clients or the job you're doing one side for now. Now, the first thing I want you to do is raise your current rate or salary by 10% or 20%. So if a new client, or you're applying for a new job and you're like, okay, so my expected salary is 60,000 Naira, which is like, that should be like 20% from 50,000 Naira. What you are doing in such a way is you're not being unrealistic. You're not just telling them, pay me 120,000 Naira. You are charging 10 or 20% higher in such a way that if the client tells you that, okay, that's a little bit higher than our budget, chances are that if you decide to negotiate or compromise, you will still get into a window that will still be higher than your old rates. That's one win. Or if you are going to go a little bit higher, maybe closer to your old rates, you would be able to see how you can negotiate on workload, or maybe some things have to give. You understand? And then 3, if the client tells you they cannot afford it at all because they are mocking the price. When I mean mocking, is maybe like they don't see the value of them wanting to pay you 60,000 Naira or 55,000 Naira, which is just 10% or 20% higher than your old rates. Then what's the guarantee that if you tell them, like I said earlier, your old rates, they won't laugh at it too and say, when I can just pay 20,000 Naira for it? So these are the things that you want to put into consideration. Now, for number 2, bundle your skills together. In an earlier video, I spoke about what happens when you have like 1, 2, or 3 freelance skills. Well, this is an opportunity for you to allow those skills shine. And what do I mean by that? So let's say your main service is writing blog posts and you charge 20,000 Naira per blog post. Now, you can have your other skills, maybe where you have social media. Maybe you're very good with creating social media content, and you're also very good with writing newsletters. Now, instead of listing each of these separately by saying, hire me to write your blog post for 20,000 Naira, hire me to write your social media content for 5,000 Naira, hire me to write your newsletter content for 5,000 Naira, you can bundle this so that it doesn't look like you are just throwing prices all over the place. So you can have option A, whereby in option A you are just saying, hire me to write your blog post service, your blog post content, and that's 20,000 Naira. Option B can be, no, you know what, instead of only just writing your blog post, I can also create social media content for you just around this blog post, or I can repurpose this blog post into different social media, content for you that you can add to your content calendar, or I can even prepare a content calendar for you. And then for that, you can say this costs 30,000 Naira. And you can have option C and say, okay, plus option A plus option B You can also get me to write your newsletter for you, maybe 1 newsletter or 2 newsletters in a month, and for this, that is going to cost 35,000 naira. Now, do you see what happened there? You have given 3 options. Many times, it's like you're just giving 3 options to a new client that is coming to you. If they decide, okay, right now I can only afford only the blog post, fine. If they decide that, okay, let me go for option B, blog post or social media, the social media assistance for writing content, great. Oh, you know what? I want the premium price, option C. I wanted to write my blog post. I wanted to write my social media pieces. I wanted to write my newsletter pieces. That's awesome. So can you see that you have indirectly raised your rates in these ways without even just throwing numbers all over the place, and you are showing your value even more to the client? Now, the third method I wanted to also consider is offering like a advisory or paid strategy section that is linked to your expertise. So let's say a particular client comes, they know that they need your expertise, but they are not really very clear on what the project is, because they are a little bit confused of how all the pieces will come in together. And before they hire you to do the work, they will want you to, like, brainstorm with them, come up with ideas and all of that. And you, with your expertise, understand all that is needed to ensure that the clients can be clear, can have action steps, and have like a roadmap from point A to the completion rate of the project. This is an opportunity for you to offer a short paid session to the client, and of course, sell it in a way that the client knows that they're coming out of this session with a clear plan, clear next steps, and clarity. And guess what? It's also a way for you to show more of your value and show your expertise. So you do that for the clients, even if they decide that they're not going to get you to work on the project with them, you're still being paid for your expertise. And if they decide they're going to choose you to work for the project with them, you have increased your value indirectly and your price indirectly as well. So I want you to try 1, 2, 3, or even all of these methods for new clients. Now, for the old clients or current client that you have, let's bring them back into the picture. Now, this is what I want you to do. With these old clients, why can't I just announce my rates and just tell them, I'm not charging 50,000 naira again, no, it's now 55,000, it's now 60,000. Well, it's a little risky, and here's why I would say it's a little risky, because guess what? We're talking about an unstable market, an unstable economy, and chances are this particular client or company is being hit by the economy. Maybe they are even laying off people and they're cutting budget. So for someone that is already laying off people and cutting budget, it's risky for you to go with them and say you want to be paid more. So I would say just focus your efforts on the new clients, trying those methods I mentioned with the new clients. When you now have like a stable pipeline, you've been able to get a lot of things going or got another job with a higher rate, then you can now decide. You already you have like a safety net, a safety basket. You can now decide that, okay, for this old client or old job I am at, what are discussions I can have? Maybe it can be that you discuss like a gradual increase of salary or increase of rates as time goes on, or you discuss your rates being higher if maybe the scope of work has gotten bigger. And I'm not going to dwell so much about this because I have 1 or 2 videos that talk about how to negotiate your salary and how to negotiate your rates, still in this playlist, so you want to check it out. All right, so I hope this helps, and I hope you're able to get 1 or 2 things that you can try, especially when things look a little shaky in the industry you're working in. So don't let fear determine your price. Let your value always determine your price. Okay, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.